Hi, I'm Jean Edelman. For decades, I've been a student of the healing arts: Reiki, traditional Chinese medicine, homeopathy, acupuncture, plant-based, and macrobiotic cooking. Join me on this journey and hear my thoughts of the week.
Hello, dear friends. Here we are at the end of April. I do hope you enjoyed the segments with Dr. Lee. So much great information. The key is, if we make small changes in our life, we can change our health path. The goal is to glide into our later years with ease, and we do that with our self-care. We do that with being mindful of what we eat, when we eat, our environment, moving each day, sleeping, staying hydrated, managing our emotions. But my dear friends, before we dive in, let's just take a breath. Not a deep breath, not a performative breath, just the kind that meets us right where we are. April has a way of whispering and sometimes shouting that it's time to begin again. The light stretches a little longer in the day, the air softens, and suddenly there's a quiet pressure to become, to bloom, to show evidence that we're growing, changing, and moving forward. And I want to offer a gentle reminder of something different. What if this month isn't about becoming? What if it's about allowing things to unfold in their own time, allowing ourselves to not have all the answers yet, allowing the parts that are still tender, still resting, and still unsure to simply be. Because the truth is, nothing in nature blooms all at once. Some flowers open early, reaching towards the sun with ease. Others take their time. Some don't bloom until much later in the season. And none of that is wrong. So why do we expect ourselves to be any different? Maybe we've been feeling behind lately. Maybe there's a quiet voice in our mind listing all the ways that we should be further along by now. And if that's you, I want you to clearly hear. You're not late. You're not missing anything. You're not doing life wrong. You're unfolding. And unfolding requires space. And this is where the allowing comes in. Not as something passive, but as something deeply supportive. Allowing is not giving up. Allowing is not lowering our standards. Allowing is choosing to stop. Allowing is choosing to stop gripping so tightly to who we think we are and to begin to soften into who we already are. Allowing is saying, I don't need to force this moment to look different in order to be okay. So what does allowing look like? Allowing is noticing when we're rushing, taking a breath, and pause instead of push. Allowing is choosing one small nurturing routine, just one, and letting that be enough for now. Allowing is waking up and asking, what feels available today, instead of what should I accomplish? Because growth that's forced tends to be fragile, but growth that's allowed, that's where the roots deepen. Now, allowing can feel very uncomfortable, especially if we're used to holding everything together, staying on top of things, and being the one who makes it happen. There can be fear that if we loosen our grip, everything will fall apart. But often, my dear friend, the opposite is true. When we allow, we create the space for clarity. When we allow, we create the space for energy to return, for the next step to emerge naturally instead of being dragged into existence. So today I want to offer you a small practice. Nothing complicated, just this. At some point today, place your hand gently over your heart. Take some deep breaths and ask yourself, what am I ready to allow? Not fix, not force, not figure out all at once. Just allow. Maybe it's allowing rest without guilt. Maybe it's allowing a decision to wait. Maybe it's allowing joy in a moment that doesn't feel fully earned. Whatever comes up, see if you can meet it with a little less resistance, a little more kindness, a little more trust. Because we don't have to bloom all at once. We are allowed to grow in pieces, and we are allowed to take our time. And we are allowed to be in the middle of our becoming, and that is more than enough.
Next week on The Kitchen with Jean, we're celebrating fresh herbs, tiny green gifts that bring flavor, wellness, and life to every meal. Learn simple ways to use herbs like basil and parsley to elevate our cooking. Let's make our meals fresh, vibrant, and full of love. Join me next week on The Kitchen with Jean.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you allow this week to unfold. We need to remember, dear friends, that this is Earth School, and the lesson is to love ourselves and to love each other. And we need to remember that life comes from us and life is for us. So, my dear friends, allow your life to unfold in layers, because it's all enough and we're doing it right. Until next week, dear friends, be well.